My name is Analise Flores. I resided in. I'm saying resided like it's my home, but it felt like it. I went to girls prep Lower East Side Elementary and middle school. I started in fourth grade, and I graduated in 2018.
Have you lived in Brooklyn like all your life or?
Oh, I'm from Harlem. We moved to the Lower East Side, and then when I was like, I'm new to Brooklyn. I only live here, honestly. My whole life is in Manhattan. So we came here like 5 years ago. We lived here since. Is it like just a different scenery? Honestly, we're away from everyone, but not too far. So yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, I've been to Brooklyn. Like Brooklyn is its own. I think every borough is its own culture, it's its
yeah.
own kind of like place. Harlem definitely is its own. I know my mom grew up in Harlem. What part of Harlem did you grow up in?
I grew up in West Side, on 8th Avenue, 155th Street. So
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, see, I'm familiar with that side of it. Oh, wow. That's amazing. And then you moved to Brooklyn and now you've been there for 5 years. Wow,
yeah,
that definitely is a change.
yeah, it is.
And how's high school going? So you're a senior because you're graduating. But how has your high school career been? How has that been like being at Park East High School?
I loved it there. Well, I must say past tense because because of COVID and stuff. Like I loved it there when I started. I made friends fast. Like it was just like a homey community. Like if anybody was to like ask me, I would recommend my high school to them because we're close knitted. Like it's barely any students there. It's like 400 students there. So I was able to build connections with my teachers, all of my teachers. That was never the issue. It's just like as COVID came, we were on Zoom and like a lot of things changed, especially like this year. My school is the only school to do two campuses, like two high schools. So I was never really back in school because we had an annex where we will alternate days. So one day I'll be at Park East, the other day I'll be at in the annex. So that wasn't really ideal for me. I hated it. I didn't like it. So this year has been rough, but like overall, like just the condition. But like my teachers and still, I still mess with them. I still like them. We still have a good communication. I still have good grades. I've been honor roll for all 4 years. So that's very, it's like an accomplishment for me.
That's good. That's always good that you're no, I can sense that you like the culture, the environment there. I know it's been tough with like the pandemic. The pandemic threw everyone off.
Yeah.
Everyone had to like it was like transition to remote, and then with you like with the annexing, it's just like it's difficult. And then now in senior year, I know it's stressful. I graduated from college just last year, but I like still remember like going to the college application process, and I know like it's difficult and it's stressful. So I understand kind of where you're coming from in terms of that. But how has your senior year been going besides like that college applications, obviously?
Pretty good. I've been working this year, like this whole year. So I've been able to balance. I've been great at balancing. I just got my report card. My average for semester two, marking period one was 92. So it's never been grades for me. Like grades never been an issue for me. It's just like, the enjoyance of like being comfortable there now. Like, I don't know. It's like our school is small. It's like a really small school. So it was hard for them to like say, okay, let's have all 400 kids back in school because we would be on top of each other like we was prior to the pandemic. So they started the annexing and it's just been like I don't want to be there when the annex days. I want to be in school when I'm supposed to be in school. But yeah, it's been good, my classes. I take two AP classes right now. Well, been taking two AP classes the whole year. Um, I just been able to balance everything, luckily.
Yeah, just hearing you talk about a work-life balance, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's the hardest thing, even as an adult.
I think that's gonna be the decision when I get to Barnard to like quit my job because I don't think I could do 25 hours a week
Oof.
with Barnard. So I work in Harlem. It's near my school. So it's ideal for like school days. I could just take the bus and just go straight there, leave me right in front. But days like this, when it's like spring break, I gotta go from Brooklyn to school. I mean to work. It's kind of a lot. But I work on Fifth Avenue and 135th Street.
Oh man, you're getting it in now. Like the fact that you're able to keep up your grades and work at the same time, that's a you definitely gotta give yourself a pat on the back for that because that's the most difficult to do.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you about your girls prep journey, right? You're in high school now, but you said you started in elementary at girls prep, Lower East Side Elementary. And so I just wanted to gear towards that and just hearing about your journey with girls prep.
My god sister, she used to go to girls prep as a kindergartner and a first grader. And when, like I told you, I moved from the Harlem to Lower East Side. When I made that transition, my mom was scared because she could tell like I was very mature for my age, but like intellectual wise, not really. So like she was just worried like if she puts me in another public school, things were gonna be the same. I was gonna grow as a student. And my aunt was my godmother. She was like, like we're moving to Long Island. I think I could get her enrolled by taking my little cousin, Alyssa's spot. Sorry, and that's what happened. My godmother, she claimed me as like we were living with her, and well, we were like at that point we were living with her. I got in for fourth grade, and then yeah, it was like that. And my mom changed my address when she moved to Long Island, and we moved further into the Lower East Side. So that's how it happened.
The fact that your mom wanted you to have a good education. I mean, that's what any parent wants. To have a great education and, and I think also being a single gender school is also beneficial, right? Because of the sense of community there. So just curious, is there any, and take your time thinking about this, is there any like outstanding like memories or just like when you hear girls prep, anything that comes to mind or any feelings that come to mind?
A couple. The first one would be when I started fourth grade. Her name was Miss. I don't even want to say her name because I don't remember. But I know that she was a woman that worked in the Lower East Side campus. I guess she was observing the class. I was in RJS in the Lower East Side. So she was observing with a couple people, and I think we were doing read aloud. And I remember I didn't want to read aloud. I remember like it was always hard for me to read aloud. Like I hated reading aloud. I hated FMPs. I hated all of them. And I remember she telling like not her saying it, but she was just like observing me writing stuff down. Then my mom got a call that day, and she was like, I think it's really beneficial if you enroll her into Read 180. And my mom was like, what is it? Like, whatever. She was like, I noticed that Analise has issues reading and she doesn't, like, it's the comprehension. Like, I would read, but I wouldn't understand what I was reading. She was like, this program is year long. It'll help her, whatever. I think it started in October and ended in May. And my mom was like, hell yeah, put her on the list. And then I started every day after school. It was almost every day after school. I was going to Read 180. And like the memories I had a lot of memories there in Read 180. And it definitely helped me. Honestly, that's always the number one milestone I bring up when I bring up girls prep, because I didn't know how to read when I came. I came from a public school. Then I transferred to a charter school, so like things were different. So like I didn't know what it was for a teacher to take time and be serious about what she was like trying to teach me. But I didn't know basic fourth grader things, like, and I had to learn it. And the staff and the faculty around me made sure I learned it by the time I was going to fifth grade.
Oh man, that's an amazing story to hear. It's like that's just precious to me that again, we have students who struggle, right? You said you struggle with, reading comprehension, right? That's not just something that happens to you, but it's something that happens to a lot of students, and it's a problem that sometimes is not always caught, right? But I love hearing how you had, the support of a teacher, a mentor, and staff members from Girls Prep supporting you in that. And I'm happy that your mom said, yes, get her into Reading 180. I'm so happy that you were able to find just a community to help support you.
I talk to my teachers until this day, even the ones that have departed Girls Prep. I still speak to them. Like I had Miss Risa was the family coordinator, I think, and Miss Coleman was she's the one that helped us go to high school, like do our high school applications. I speak to them to this day. When I got accepted to Barnard, I told them, they were like screaming, "Oh my God, I want to take you out. I gotta take you out next time I'm in the city." So yeah, like I've built great connections with staff members from that school that I think I will have that forever.
Oh my gosh, you don't hear, I don't hear that often. And I always reflect back to my own school experience. And I'm like, I never stayed in touch with the teachers who, definitely pushed me to be the best that I can be. I'm so happy that you have that support behind you, especially as you go into college, right? Because it doesn't have to stop at the classroom. It goes way beyond school.
Yeah.
You got to Barnard. Do you know what career path you're leaning towards? I know it's different for everyone, has a different track. Say, I don't know. I may be interested in this. Is there anything that appeals to you, or have you decided on a major?
I decided on my major. I think I decided on my career, but every time, like when every time you go into depth in it, you're like, oh no, like, did I make the right decision? Am I good? I might change majors, but right now I'm looking into biology. I love like anatomy, biology. I hate environmental science because that's one of the classes I take, but I guess, I'll go through. But yeah. I think I want to be a biology major. I think I want to pursue pediatrics, be a neonatal surgeon or be a neonatologist, work with preemies. That's what I want to do personally. I don't know what will happen, but that's what I have my mind set on now.
Like you said, right? You have your mind set on one path, and if you're passionate about it, then go for it, right? And as you grow and as you learn, that always changes. But when you said you didn't like AP Environmental, my heart was like, oh.
I think it's just so much. I take it in high school right now. I take anatomy and AP. I have 2 sciences. That AP Environmental is no joke.
I took the exam. I did good on the exam, but I got a 4 out of a 5, so I did pretty good.
Oh my God, girl!
I didn't have to take science. I didn't have to take no science courses in college, which is like a blessing. I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like I said, I thought I was going to go into environmental science. I ended up in an English major. Things change, people change, right? You grow, you learn. I'm just happy to hear that there are actual like women interested in science, because the STEM world has been mainly dominated, right, by the male gender. Not to say anything against the male gender, but just saying, like, we are definitely trying to grow and see more women interested in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
And talking about coding, I did AP computer science for a full year last year, 11th grade. And we just did block coding. So this is probably the easiest coding. She's probably doing JavaScript or something else more complicated. That girl got a brain on her. Congratulations to her. I hope she hears this, because coding is not easy. It was times I was crying all night because I could not get Oh, and you gotta wait to schedule a meeting with your teacher. Like, it was just, well, it's pandemic, of course. So I was waiting to schedule meetings with my teacher, and he's like, OMG, Analise. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I still passed. So that's all that matters.
As long as you pass.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that wasn't for me. That wasn't it. I had to create a video game.
Me too.
And I tried to do like a Wheel of Fortune. It didn't turn out good. My teacher was like, "This is not even finished." I said, "Well, it's something."
I created a quiz about the capitals of the United States, and it finished. And I worked months for that. Oh my god, it was like 2 months that I worked on that. I didn't even get a good grade. I got an 80. That's all he gave me.
You got an 80. I got like, what did I get? 72. At least you did better than me.
Oh, I got an 80. I was like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah. Yeah.
I did 2 months of coding and I only get an 80. Not even a 90 for effort. Oh.
Not even.
You know, you've had the support of Ms. McCalla and your teachers supporting you as you've, applied to college, right? And it's so wonderful to hear that, that they're rooting for you, and we're all rooting for you. All of our alumni, we are rooting for. But just something for, future students who want to enroll at girls prep. We have boys prep. Actually, I don't know if you know, but our boys prep alumni are graduating. So we're going to have the first graduating 8th grade class this year.
Yay!
So they will be joining our girls prep alumni. They're definitely excited, but we are just, so happy to celebrate all of our alumni, celebrate you for all you've accomplished and what you've done so far. But for those who are just coming to girls prep or learning about girls prep, is there any advice you would give them, anything you want to tell them about girls prep that they should know?
Literally, get good grades. And it's cliche, whatever, but the good grades do lead to where you're gonna end up in high school, and high school is where you're gonna end up. Like it's like for example, for me, like my college advisor, she is the reason why I even brought the courage in me to apply to Barnard. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would have never applied to Barnard because I doubt myself. I'm like, she was like, no, do it, Annalise, do it. And look, I'm going to Barnard now. And like, I feel like if you are in a bigger, just get a high school that's good for your scenery. Like if you like big crowds, go to a school that has a lot of kids. If you don't like big crowds, you like close-knit communities and you like to communicate with your teacher, go to a smaller school, but also get good grades so you're not just in any school. Like my school was screened. I don't know if they're still screened, but when I applied, it was screened. They looked at my state test scores, everything, my grades, and I was picked. So I just think, get good grades, do well, get to a good high school so you have a great future.
I think that's a good piece of advice. I know you said it's cliche, but I think it's still prevalent today. We are, for our incoming girls prep, right? I just started here. But what I see on this organization is they truly do support their scholars. They support their students. They want to make sure that whatever career path, it doesn't even have to be a college track. If they want to go to trade school, if they want to do something else, in the future, just making sure that they have the opportunities. And I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to go to a great high school, to be able to have, look at all the choices. You apply to all the CUNYs, you have all these choices. And that's what we want for our students. We want them to have choices, the choice to pick their own path. And you're doing that, Annalise. And I really appreciate that advice. One last question, I promise. This is the last one.
Okay.
One word that describes your public prep experience.
Like spontaneous. Because honestly, you could never guess. Well, with my teachers, I had a lot of my teachers twice. Like one is like Miss Cardaces. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. I had her in 6th grade and 8th grade. It was just very spontaneous learning. She saw me learn. Like she was one teacher that was able to see me like grow from when I was in 6th grade until I was in 8th grade. Because in 6th grade, I was, like my writing skills wasn't great. I was learning still. And, I was passing her classes with like a solid C. And then when I got to 8th grade, I was a better student, honestly. I was more like willing to help myself, and I got great grades, and she was able to see that. So I would say spontaneous, because you never know what's going to happen in that school. It's always it's like a Pandora box. You don't know what's going to come out.
That's a good one. I love it comparing it to the Pandora box. Like you never know what you're gonna get. Hopefully you get something good,
Yeah.
but I love that. And actually, Miss Cardaces is still there, but she's an academic director now. She's not a teacher, but she's still there. I definitely will let her know that you spoke highly of her. I'm sure she'll remember you.
She'll text me like, hey, she calls me. I forgot what she calls me. Me and her are solid. I love her so much.
Oh, that's the best. I love hearing that you're still in touch with your teacher. I'm kind of also envious because I wish I would have stayed in touch with my teachers, but that just shows that you have a strong relationship and that, Girls Prep is behind you always, no matter where you are, if you're in high school, college, even beyond that, just having that relationship beyond school.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, Analise, that is all the questions I have. I'm sure we could have a longer conversation, but I don't want to take up your time. I know, are you guys on spring break? I meant to ask that.
Yeah, we are on spring break.
Okay, I know you're on spring break, so I want you to enjoy your spring break. I want you to celebrate your acceptance into Barnard. Truly, congratulations again. So happy for you.
Thank you.
The Public Prep Podcast is produced in partnership with True Story FM. Engineering by Pete Wright. Music this week is by Paper Planes. If your podcast app allows ratings and reviews, we hope you'll consider doing just that for our show. But the best thing that you can do to support all the inspiring voices of our public prep scholars is simply to share the show with a friend or colleague. Thank you for listening.